How to Think Like a Millionaire, the Hidden Truth Behind Wealthy Mindsets. You don't have to get it right, you just have to get it going. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who had big dreams, dreams of wealth, success, and a life of abundance. He imagined himself standing on grand stages, speaking to thousands, driving luxury cars, and living in a mansion. He was obsessed with learning. Every day, he devoured books about success, business, and personal growth. In total, he read over 3,100 books. Yes, 3,100. And do you know how much money he made from all that knowledge? $0. Why? Because he was stuck in a dangerous mindset, one that traps countless dreamers. He believed he had to get everything perfect before taking action. Every time he wanted to start something, doubts crept in. What if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if people judge me? These thoughts paralyzed him, but one day, he realized a life-changing truth: success doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from starting. The wealthiest people in the world don't wait for the perfect moment, they create it by taking action. They understand that imperfections can always be fixed later, but you can never fix something that doesn't exist. So, he threw away his excuses. He stopped worrying about whether his first attempt would be flawless. He just started. That was the moment everything changed. Here's a simple 5-step formula for success that he followed. Start immediately, don't wait for the right time. Start now. Improve it until it's good. Perfection comes from progress, not hesitation. Get feedback. Learn from those who have done it before. Polish it until it's great. Make adjustments as you go. Keep going. Momentum is more important than perfection. You see, most people never fail. They just never start. They talk about their dreams, plan endlessly, and wait for the perfect conditions, but that day never comes. Do you want to be successful? Then listen carefully. Get off your excuses. Get off your doubts. Get off your fears. Just get started, because nothing happens until you do. Learn to think smaller. Now, this might surprise you. People always tell you to think big, right? Dream big, plan big, go big or go home. But let me ask you, what if thinking big is actually stopping you from getting rich? Let me explain. For 7 long years, he struggled. From age 19, he had a dream of success, but instead of moving forward, he was overwhelmed. He wanted to be the best. He wanted to create something massive. But every time he thought about his big dream, it felt too huge to accomplish. He was lost. In 6 years, he had 6 different jobs. He hopped from one thing to another, searching for the perfect business. By the time he was 26, he was making just $10 an hour at a job he hated. His parents were worried. His friends doubted him. Deep down, even he wasn't sure if he would ever make it. Then, he discovered something that changed everything. Thinking big was keeping him stuck. So, he did something crazy. He started thinking smaller. Instead of trying to build a giant empire overnight, he focused on the smallest possible step he could take to move forward. Instead of dreaming about making millions, he focused on making his first $100. Instead of trying to be the best in the world, he focused on becoming just a little bit better every day. And that's when success finally started coming. By thinking smaller, he made bigger progress. Most people fail because they think too big, too soon. Their dreams feel too massive, so they get stuck in fear and procrastination. But the richest people, they don't try to leap to the top in one jump. They climb one step at a time. And that's exactly what you must do. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't try to build $1 million business overnight. Just focus on the next small step. That's how millionaires think. That's how you should think, too. And once you master this, your success is inevitable. Rocket, are you ready to start? Rocket. The secret to success: why thinking smaller can make you rich. For years, I did what all the so-called gurus told me to do. I thought big. I didn't just want to make $1 million. No, I wanted $1 billion idea. I sat for hours dreaming up massive business plans, game-changing innovations, and world-changing projects. My mind was constantly filled with ideas that I believed would catapult me to insane wealth. And do you know where all that big thinking got me? Flat broke. Not, I need to cut back on spending, broke. No, I was just 1 or 2 missed paychecks away from losing everything, my apartment, my car, my dignity. That feeling. It's absolutely soul-crushing. Yet, every personal development book and self-proclaimed expert kept chanting the same mantra. Rocket, think big. Dream big. Set massive goals. Rocket. But here's what I say. Light bulb, that advice doesn't work for most people. Light bulb. I had the big dream, sure. But my problem was the steps to reach that dream were so massive that I didn't even know where to start. Every time I tried, I'd get overwhelmed, procrastinate, and end up stuck in the same miserable place. Then, I discovered something life-changing. The magic of thinking smaller. Yes, you read that right. I'm telling you to think smaller. Here's what I did to completely transform my income, and you can do the same. White heavy checkmark. When I was making $3,000 a month, I didn't aim for $20,000. I aimed for $5,000. White heavy checkmark. When I was making $10,000 a month, my goal wasn't $100,000. It was $12,000. White heavy checkmark. When I hit $20,000 a month, I only pushed for $25,000. White heavy checkmark. When I made $50,000 a month, I set my sights on $65,000. White heavy checkmark. And I kept going, step by step, level by level. You see, the only way to succeed is through small, disciplined steps. Pushpin. Read that again. This is where most people get it wrong. They set huge, unrealistic goals, get overwhelmed, and never take action. But when you focus on small, achievable steps, you keep moving forward. Each step builds momentum, and before you know it, you're light years ahead of where you started. So forget about giant, impossible goals for now. Just ask yourself, backhand index pointing right, what's the next small step I can take? Backhand index pointing right, how can I improve my situation just a little bit today? Backhand index pointing right, what's one small win I can achieve right now? Because those tiny steps, when taken consistently, will take you further than you ever imagined. Light bulb. Dream big, but act small. That's the secret to real success. Light bulb. The millionaire's secret: think smaller, win bigger. For years, I was trapped in a cycle of frustration, always believing that success required massive ideas and giant leaps forward. I was convinced that in order to change my life, I needed $1 million idea, something revolutionary, something groundbreaking, something that would instantly propel me to wealth and freedom. I would sit for hours, days, even weeks brainstorming these enormous plans. But while my head was filled with big ideas, my bank account told a different story. I was broke. And I don't mean the kind of broke where you're just cutting back on luxury spending. I mean one paycheck away from disaster broke. I remember staring at my rent bill, feeling that deep pit of anxiety in my stomach, knowing that if one unexpected expense came up, I would be completely screwed. That feeling is something I will never forget. I was doing everything the so-called success gurus told me to do. I was dreaming big, setting massive goals, and imagining my future as a millionaire. Yet, despite all this positive thinking, my reality stayed the same. I couldn't understand why my big plans weren't translating into big results. It was as if I was running on a treadmill, moving fast but going absolutely nowhere. And then, one day, everything changed. I came to a painful realization: thinking too big was actually holding me back. My dreams weren't the problem was that they were too overwhelming to act on. Every time I thought about my massive goals, I felt paralyzed. I didn't know where to start. I had no clear direction. And because I was so focused on making it big all at once, I never made any real progress. That's when I discovered the power of thinking smaller. Instead of trying to go from 0 to $1 million overnight, I started focusing on just the next step. If I was making $3,000 a month, I didn't aim for $20,000, I aimed for $5,000. When I hit $5,000, I pushed for $10,000, then $12,000, then $20,000. Step by step, dollar by dollar, I climbed my way up. And before I knew it, I was making more money than I had ever imagined. This was the breakthrough that changed everything. The truth is, success isn't about taking one massive leap, it's about consistent, disciplined steps. Think about it. No one gets married on the first date. Relationships take time to build. No one goes from first grade straight to college. Education is a gradual process. No one becomes an Olympic athlete overnight. It takes years of training. Everything in life happens in stages. But for some reason, when it comes to success and wealth, people expect instant results. They think they'll go from broke to millionaire in one big jump, and when that doesn't happen, they get discouraged and give up. That's why so many people fail. They're too focused on the destination instead of the next step. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 30 days, think smaller. Stop worrying about building an empire and just lay the first brick. Forget about making $1 million. Just focus on making an extra 1,000. Instead of trying to change your whole life overnight, just commit to improving one thing each day. Because here's the secret. Small steps create momentum. Momentum creates confidence. And confidence leads to massive success. I know how great you are. I know what you're capable of. And now, it's time for the world to see it. So stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Take action today. Step up. Seriously. Make your move. The power of habits, how they shape your future. Are you tired of feeling stuck? Frustrated that success seems just out of reach? Have you ever stopped to consider how much procrastination has cost you, not just financially, but emotionally? There's nothing worse than feeling held back from achieving your deepest desires. Yet, so many people unknowingly sabotage themselves every single day through the habits they've formed. It's easier to be disorganized, to live without direction, and to settle for mediocrity. But easy doesn't mean fulfilling. Henry David Thoreau once said, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation." And he was right. Most people drift through life, never realizing that their habits, not luck, not fate, not external circumstances, are what determine their future. They wake up each day repeating the same unproductive patterns, wondering why success keeps eluding them. Here's the harsh truth. If your current habits are leading you to procrastination, inaction, and excuses, then you are allowing yourself to be robbed. Robbed of your potential, robbed of your dreams, robbed of the future you deserve. Let that sink in for a moment. Millionaires, high achievers, and those who create extraordinary lives understand one simple principle. People form habits, and habits form futures. Every successful person you admire didn't get there by accident. They got there because they built habits that served them. They replaced laziness with discipline. They swapped doubt for action. They eliminated distractions and focused on what truly mattered. If your current habits aren't serving you, then it's time to take responsibility and say, enough is enough. The good news? You can change. You can reprogram your mind and daily routines to align with the success you crave. But it starts with a decision to break free from the habits that hold you back and adopt the ones that will propel you forward. So ask yourself, are my habits bringing me closer to success, or pulling me further away? Am I making excuses, or am I taking action? Am I letting old patterns dictate my future, or am I ready to create new ones? The choice is yours. Your habits shape your destiny. Choose wisely. The power of consistency. How small actions lead to massive success. In our last discussion, we talked about the power of thinking small, about how real progress comes from small, consistent actions, not from trying to make massive, unrealistic leaps overnight. Let's put that into perspective. Imagine you have a terrible habit of being late to work. Maybe this has been a pattern for years. Do you really think that starting tomorrow, you'll suddenly be on time every single day without fail? Sure, it's possible, but is it likely? Probably not. Instead, what if you committed to arriving just 5 or 10 minutes earlier each day? Just a small change, nothing overwhelming. You do this for a few weeks, and suddenly, what once felt impossible becomes your new normal. This is the power of small, consistent actions. And this brings us to the next critical way to think like a millionaire. Number 4, get in the habit of performing consistently. Success isn't about one great achievement. It's about repeating the right actions over and over again. Everyone has had a moment in their life where they were truly great, where they performed at their highest level, pushed past their limits, or achieved something remarkable. But real power doesn't lie in a single moment of greatness. Real power lies in the repetition of those moments. Highly successful people do not rely on motivation or luck. They don't wait for inspiration to strike. They build daily habits that keep them moving toward their goals no matter what. Think about it. You don't struggle to breathe every day. You don't forget to eat or drink water. You don't wait until you feel like it to sleep. These things happen automatically because they are part of your routine. Millionaires view their success habits in the same way. They don't question whether or not they'll take action, they simply do it. So the question is, are you consistent, or are you non-existent? The only way to achieve real, lasting success is to commit to daily, disciplined actions that bring you closer to your goals. It doesn't have to be a grand effort. Just take small, consistent steps. Because consistency creates momentum. Momentum leads to progress. And progress leads to the life you've always wanted. So what small step will you take today? The power of focus. Why the right focus changes everything. As many of you know, I used to be the king of procrastination. For nearly a decade, I was scattered, unfocused, and constantly jumping from one idea to another without real progress. And let me tell you, those were tough times. But because I've lived through that struggle, I'm now obsessed with the power of focus. I've made it my mission to not only master focus in my own life but also to help others do the same. Because here's the truth. Whoever has the strongest focus wins. Why focus is everything. Your mind is like a flashlight in a dark room. If you wave it around in all directions, the light is weak, scattered, and unfocused. But when you concentrate that light on a single point, it becomes powerful enough to cut through the darkness. Your energy, time, and resources work the same way. If you're constantly shifting from one goal to another, you'll never build momentum. But when you find your focus and stay locked in on the right path, everything starts to change. The wrong focus can cost you everything. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, Mike, I'm already focused. I'm already taking action, but I'm still not succeeding. Listen closely. What do you think happens if you focus on the wrong thing? Think about this. If a pilot is flying just 1 degree off course, they'll end up hundreds of miles away from their destination. If a scientist performs an experiment but measures the wrong variable, they'll get useless results. If a business owner spends all their time on tasks that don't grow their business, they'll stay stuck, no matter how hard they work. The problem isn't just focus, it's focusing on the right thing. How to find the right focus? Ask yourself this question. I only have a limited number of resources. What is the best focus I can have? Your time, energy, and money are not unlimited. You have to be strategic. Identify what truly moves the needle. Are you focused on busy work, or are you focused on growth? Are you spending hours on things that feel productive, or are you actually making progress? Eliminate distractions. Every minute wasted on distractions is a minute stolen from your dreams. Cut out unnecessary tasks, toxic influences, and anything that drains your energy. Measure your results. If your focus isn't getting you closer to your goal, it's time to adjust. Final thoughts. Make focus work for you. Focus isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart. If you're stuck, ask yourself, am I focused on the right things? Am I measuring my results? Am I willing to adjust if something isn't working? Because here's the truth, when you focus on the right thing, success is inevitable. So today, make the decision, find your focus, and take action like your future depends on it, because it does. Time is your most valuable asset, guard it like a hawk. One of the biggest indicators of success isn't just how much money someone has, it's how much they respect their time. Because here's the hard truth, your time is finite. It's ticking away at this very moment, and you can never get it back. Imagine yourself at 90 years old, sitting in a rocking chair, looking back at your life. Will you feel proud of how you spent your time? Or will you regret all the moments you wasted on things that didn't matter? The millionaire mindset. Time is more valuable than money. Successful people don't waste time, they invest it. They understand that money can always be made, but time, once it's gone forever. Think about it. You can always earn more money. You can always get another job, but you can't buy back wasted years. This is why millionaires guard their time like a hawk. They don't let distractions, meaningless conversations, or other people's agendas control their day. They own their time and use it wisely. How to protect your time like a millionaire. Stop saying yes to everything. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your goals, you're saying no to something that does. Start valuing your time as much as your bank account. Eliminate time wasters. Social media scrolling, pointless gossip, excessive Netflix binging, these things steal hours from your life. If something doesn't push you closer to your goals, cut it out. Prioritize ruthlessly. The most successful people spend 80% of their time on the few things that truly matter. Focus on the highest impact activities and delegate or delete everything else. Plan your days like a CEO. Every minute wasted in chaos is a minute stolen from your dreams. Structure your day. Set priorities. Stick to them. Surround yourself with time-conscious people. If the people around you don't value time, they'll pull you into their distractions. Successful people surround themselves with other focused, driven individuals. Final thoughts: use time or lose it. Time is the one thing you can never get back. So, before you waste another hour on something meaningless, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Is this moving me closer to my goals? Am I investing my time, or just spending it? Because the truth is, if you don't control your time, someone else will. Make the choice today. Guard your time. Invest it wisely, and watch your success skyrocket.